Hi stamping friends, Melissa Kerman here with Melissa's Crafting Treehouse. So I have something a little different for you today. So at the OnStage local demonstrator event in Charlotte, North Carolina, I had the honor and privilege of doing a stamp set showcase presentation. I shared 7 projects made with the To a Wild Rose bundle, which was designed by Mary Ellen Byler when she reached her $1 million sales milestone. I had a blast playing with these products. In the presentation, I showed less than half of what I've created, so I'll be sharing these projects and more on my blog in the coming weeks and months. So I have to tell you that I'd never presented in front of such a large audience, so it was a bit scary. That said, I was there with some of my team members, and they were incredibly supportive, plus the audience was amazing. It was an incredible experience, and I feel so blessed to have been asked to do the presentation. I hope you enjoy watching, so here it is.
Please help me welcome to the stage, Melissa Kerman.
So I have one question. How did I get up here on the stage? So I've always considered myself to be an introvert.
So does anybody else out there consider themselves to be an introvert? Raise your hands. Anybody? Okay. So what happened? How did I get up here? Well, my husband calls me an ambivert. And if you've never heard of what that is, it's somebody who comes alive when they're sharing something that they love. So you guys know what I'm talking about, right? So your mindset is important. To me, it's important. And when I think of myself as an introvert, I think about myself as small and not having a voice, kind of quiet in the background. And clearly, that is not the case today. So I'm big up there on those screens. I know I'm big and I'm loud. So yay me. Anyway, so I say this because when I think of myself as an ambivert versus an introvert, I feel empowered and I have energy and I'm excited. And one of the themes, the leadership principles last night that they shared was this idea of empowerment. So I want to entice or encourage or challenge you guys to think of yourselves as introverts, to think of yourself as an ambivert instead, and share that with your teams, and it will help them to maybe rise to something that they didn't expect they could do, like being on stage. So 16 years ago this month, I hosted my very first party. And so many workshops and parties later, I no longer am an introvert. I've decided, at least when it comes to stamping. So I am Melissa Kerman of Melissa's Crafting Treehouse. I'm an empowered stamper and demonstrator. Yes. Some people call me a chick in a treehouse. Thank you, Lee. I didn't tell her I was going to shout out to her, so she helped me come up with that name. And I also like to call myself the Black Ice Queen. So some of you guys may know me for my Black Ice technique. And if you know that, you also know that I love techniques. I love sharing them, creating them, and of course, doing them. So I have some fun things to show you today. I'm going to introduce to you, like I said, the To a Wild Rose bundle. And here is the stamp set and framelit. Some of you may have seen it in the catalog already. This was designed by Mary Ellen Byler for her $1 million sales milestone. She designed it, which is awesome. It was the inspired, it's the pollen in the air. Excuse me. It was inspired by her grandmother who loved roses. And the sentiments are actually a reflection of her 17-year anniversary, 17 years as a demonstrator. And they're really some awesome, awesome sentiments. So blessed to know you, blessed and grateful to be your friend. So anyway, just amazing. I love the sentiments and have used them on several of my projects. So let's get to some projects. So this stamp set is designed for the avid crafter, and it was hard to actually design something for the beginner, but I did. And so I'm going to start with showing you that project. Come in, and I can, yeah, okay, so maybe I can see. So the stamp set has 3 images in it, 3 rose images and 3 leaf images. But if you're working with a beginner, sometimes that layering one image over the other can be a little bit challenging. So you can't use the Stamparatus, of course, but using just one of the rose images is also really effective. Or doing stamped images over one another or beside one another. So that's kind of my method for what would I do for a beginner. So just a quick commentary on the idea of the beginning casual and avid crafter. So when I think of when I think of techniques and the concept of beginning, avid, and casual, I looked up the definition of techniques, and it says something like a method for doing something. Like, you know, what does that mean? Not a whole lot. So when I think of techniques, I think of building blocks or steps. So for each project, I kind of defined how many building blocks or steps it took to do it as a way to keep me honest, because I have a hard time keeping things simple. So this is a 2-step or 2 building block project. Now I'm going to show you a technique to step it up a bit to the casual, for the casual crafter, using a technique where you make your own ink pad. So I've taken one of the stamp cases and some of my re-inkers, and here I've used my blueberry bushel in the center, balmy blue around the outside, and I have it in a case because I can use it again and again, and I'm just using just a plain old piece of felt, and I'm going to go ahead and just stamp one of these just to show you. Now, I've used this again and again. It's good to kind of re-wet it a little bit, and I may need a little bit of extra ink on there, but I'm just going to see what it does here so you guys can see. So there's the basic look. So now I have done this on just regular blueberry bushel cardstock too, and it gives you this really beautiful kind of texture, and you can see that it's dark in the center and light out towards the sides. So to me, this is a way to kind of get a wow effect without the work of a wow, especially for somebody who's a beginner. So now I have also created these 2 of my own stamp pads as well, so with different colors. And this one has a central image and also the overlaid image in the background as well, so you can get an idea of that. Thank you. Okay, so the projects that this is my casual crafter card, and this one uses the, move those guys out of the way. So this one uses the make my own ink pad, so it's just that one image in the background, and then I've heat embossed over the top. So just a little bit more complicated. This is a 4-step card. All right, so a couple of others that I've done. Okay, so I have to show you this guy. So I've got one other quick little technique to show you. Try not to drop things off the stage. That would not be good. So for this technique, and you guys may have done this, I can take an acrylic block or a stamp case, lots of uses for our stamp cases, ink it up with 2 colors. In this case, I've used the soft suede and the crumb cake. Spritz it with a little water, and then you can get this really nice sort of antique look for your background. So I'm going to show you a couple projects that where I've used this background. And I had another one out here. Where did it go? Okay, well, it's okay. So if you use a block, you'll end up getting an outside edge, but in this case, it's just the background. So here is a project done with that antique background. So this is a 5 building block or technique card because I've heat embossed in the copper, and you can see the nice rich blueberry bushel in the center, and then the balmy blue on the outside, and so anyway, the ink pad will change over time, right? So you can dab off ink, add more ink, and it'll change over time, which is kind of fun. So that's my blues. That also had the crackle paint image in the background. And then there's another one done with my reds and pinks and oranges, and it's also got the kind of antiqued background. And this is also a 5-step
our 5 building block card. Thank you. Okay, moving right along. Take those guys out. So I had to do a project with watercoloring because Marilyn Byler specifically wanted an image that was an outline so that she could do watercoloring. And I also consider this to be a card for an avid crafter, just because I think watercoloring can be intimidating to some people, just because you kind of have less control. And this also has dry embossing in the background. This is actually just a 4 building block card, as I like to call it. And then I got a few more to show you. So I had to do something with foil, because you guys know I love foil. My black ice technique and the Impressions of Tarnished foil technique, which is another one of mine, uses foil. Who else loves foil out there? Anybody love foil? Don't you guys love the peacock foil, that specialty paper, the colored foils? Oh my gosh, I'm gonna go nuts with that. So anyway, this one is also 4-step. It's got direct-to-paper. I've done heat embossing on the leaves and the flower, and I heat embossed that outside one twice so that I could fussy cut the center, and I've used the bronze blends alcohol marker to color the center. So what do you guys think of that? I love foil. Okay, last but not least, this is my over-the-top crazy I'm a nut card. So this is a 7-step or building block card. It's got the black foil. I've done the black ice technique on the flower and on the leaves, and then of course I've got all that other stuff going on back there. It's kind of hard on camera. It actually looks better in person. But these will all be on the display board, and I do have to let you know I have created far more than I'm actually showing you here on stage, probably twice as much or more. So those are going to be on the display board. And I also have a project that I especially made for my team. And I have a few of them here, for my team who are here. Yay team, they're my Chicks in a Treehouse team. And I'm not showing it here, but you guys can see it on my website on Sunday. I'm going to have a video, and it's going to show a lot of the techniques that I've showed today in more detail. And they have not even received their gift because I did sign a non-disclosure agreement, so I couldn't show them. So they're going to get it after I get off the stage. I love surprises. I love surprising people. So check out my website, melissascraftingtreehouse.com. You'll find that there, and definitely check out the display board. So in closing, and I am way over time, and I knew I would do this. I want to emulate Shelley and Sarah Douglas because they're always over time. So, just on the technique and building block thing, I encourage you, if you have a hard time keeping things simple, I have to have this out here. You guys can have something to look at, so you're not looking at me. Encourage you to use that as a way of knowing yourself and knowing your customers and evaluating your projects so that you know that you're having customers who are going to be successful in their projects and feel happy when they leave. So that's my first priority. So know yourself, know your customers. So has anyone else fallen in love with this bundle? Have I convinced you that you just have to have it? I hope so. And I hope I've given you some ideas for things you can do with this stamp set or with other sets. So before I close, quickly, I just want to thank my Treehouse Chicks, those of you who are here, yay! If any of you have a team, it's one of the most rewarding parts of being a demonstrator, is having a team and enjoying events like this together. And I want to thank the Stampin' Up! Staff, you guys have been awesome, and Tanner Smedley, who's our demonstrator development support person. He's not here, but he was amazing help in planning and preparing. And you guys have been an incredible audience. Thank you guys. So one last thing, last but not least, I have the honor and privilege of announcing a prize control. So, let's see. We're almost ready. We need to know, what are we going to win? It's going to show up on the screen, right? I don't see it. We're waiting. Is it up there? Okay, good. So the winner is going to win genuine gems. Now, can we have a drum roll, please, for the winner? And the winner is number 2.
Thanks so much for watching. I hope you enjoyed it and have an awesome day.